In just his fifth NBA game, Victor Wembanyama had 38 and 10. He's been called the greatest prospect since LeBron, and so far he's lived up to the hype. It's great that Wemby and other young stars are playing so well because it draws interest to the league. However, when the attention goes to a select few, many players fall under the radar. Today, I'm going to be talking about 3 such players and why you should keep an eye on them for this season. The first player I want to talk about is Toumani Camara. The Suns drafted Camara with the 52nd pick this year, only to include him in the Lillard trade shortly thereafter. When details of the Dame trade were announced, everyone dismissed Camara's inclusion in that move. People viewed him as a throw-in in the deal, essentially labeling him as a non-factor. While he's not going to be a future all-star, he could be a good role player for a number of years. I like to look at guys' body language, and Camara gives the impression that he's a competitor. He wants to win, he wants to make an impact, and although he's still raw, he seems to have 1 or 2 standout moments each game. Take this stretch he had against Philly as an example. He's initially guarding Oubre on this play, but is able to recover and get the block on Paul Reed. Then on the very next play, he anticipates a miss from Brogdon and puts himself in position for the tip-in. A few possessions later, he puts the ball on the floor and makes a great bounce pass leading to an and one. The percentage isn't great, but he's also shown some potential as a 3-point shooter. He did shoot 36% from 3 in his last year of college, and the form looks solid. The Blazers will likely be out of playoff contention towards the end of the season, and they may give Camara even more opportunity. Jeremy Grant could be traded or shut down at that point, and Matisse Thybulle doesn't have a lock on that starting spot. Camara is only 23, and I view him as an important piece on this Blazers team going forward. Another player that's caught my eye is Derek Lively. Going into this season, there was some uncertainty about the Mavs' depth, specifically at the center position. Their center rotation was viewed as serviceable, but nothing to get too excited about. Luckily for Dallas, Derek Lively has stepped up in his rookie year. What I like about Lively is that he seems to know his role. In college, Lively did not get tons of touches or shots. In his 1 year at Duke, Lively averaged just 5 points on 3 shot attempts. He's not some gifted offensive player, so he's okay with deferring on offense. This is perfect because Luka and Kyrie are both high usage players. Instead of worrying about his touches, Lively focuses on setting good screens, rolling hard to the rim, and giving energy on defense. He's also shown flashes as a passer, which is such an underrated skill for a center to have. In today's guard-dominant league, Lively is the ideal center to have on your team. He doesn't care about his stats, he's a great play finisher, and he prioritizes making the right play. An NBA team won't want to run their offense through their center unless they're on Jokic or Embiid's level. That can be a hard pill to swallow for some bigs because before the NBA, they were clear number 1 options. DeAndre Ayton is a good example of this. Ayton was the first pick in the 2018 draft after averaging an efficient 20 in college. However, he hasn't been as dominant in the NBA. While he's averaged 16 points for his career, he's never been viewed as a go-to guy. Still, there was always this narrative that Ayton wanted a larger role. Sure, Ayton could average 20 plus if the offense ran through him, but that wouldn't be what's best for the team. Ayton is most valuable when he's defending well and rebounding at a high rate. His good but not great offense is simply a nice luxury for his team. I do think Ayton's starting to get this in Portland, but you would have liked to see him realize this earlier. Lively and Ayton are not the exact same player, I'm not trying to suggest that. However, Lively seems to have always known who he was as a player. It's not something you can quantify, but every team needs players that are self-aware and willing to sacrifice. Obviously he's not perfect, but at just 19 years old, you know he's going to get better with experience. He's already improved from the preseason to the early part of the regular season, so it's going to be interesting to see how he looks come playoff time. And lastly, the third player I want to talk about is Jalen Johnson. Johnson didn't have a large role during his first 2 seasons, but that's changed this year. Atlanta finally traded John Collins this summer after years of trade rumors. Collins was a staple in Atlanta's starting lineup, so his departure meant that others would have to step up. So far, Johnson has done exactly that. What stands out the most about him is his versatility. He's 6'9", has a 7-foot wingspan, and he's a very switchable defender. He complements Trae Young very well because, as we know, Trae struggles on that end. Atlanta can easily be a top 10 offense, but they won't get anywhere if their defense is always in the bottom 10. Johnson can help Atlanta be respectable on defense, which is all you need if your offense is elite. While he may stand out for his defense, he's proving to be an efficient offensive player as well. He can make plays for himself in transition, and he's become one of Trae's favorite targets on the fast break. In a half-court setting, he's not someone you're expecting to consistently create his own shot, but he's capable of making something out of nothing. Where his true value lies, though, is as a play finisher. He makes good reads as a passer, he's a threat rolling to the rim, and through the first 6 games, he shot 40% from 3. His three-point volume is fairly low, so it's not a guarantee that his percentage would stay the same with more attempts. However, it's something to be optimistic about, and I will say his jumper looks nice. People may not remember, but Jalen Johnson was a 5-star recruit in high school. When he committed to Duke, he was expected to play there for 1 season and then get drafted in the lottery. Unfortunately, he dealt with injuries in college, so his draft stock dropped. As a result, Atlanta got him with the 20th pick, and he's now proving why he should have gone in the lottery. Johnson is only 21 years old, and while it won't happen this year, I could see him making an all-star game in the future. He has so much potential, and he's going to develop rapidly now that he's getting actual playing time. He's definitely someone to keep an eye on this year, especially as the Hawks try to make a run in the playoffs. Anyways, that's going to be all for today's video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. With all that being said, I'm out, and I'll see you in the next video.